I'm Ben Thomas. I'm most recent employee to get a raise at Algorithm. I've been with Algorithm for 3 years. You work mostly in distribution and manufacturing, but we're kind of jacks of all trades to whatever it takes. I'm in Columbus, a local here, which is nice, and I'm predicting today nice, clear, sunny skies all day for the eclipse. Um, New feature I want to talk about here, which will add more flexible, more accurate, more robust production reporting in Acumatica 24R1, and that is out of sequence reporting at operations. And that's going to allow us to work parallel at initial and intermediate operations. It's going to allow us to overlap operations and toggle back and forth, really anything that out of sequence reporting would allow you to do. That sometimes we've heard that there's a struggle to go from operation to next operation. Sometimes you have to report really cleanly when there's a control point, and it kind of holds the next, if you're doing shop floor, it holds up the next operation reporting until they have to go back and say, hey, please report this first so I can report. So this is going to allow for a smoother, more flexible transition between operations. Sometimes some manufacturers just need to report out of sequence because that's just the nature of their product and how their floor works. So this will allow that. And Mimi already mentioned Acumatica's longer-term roadmap that they talk about and show at Summit. And this is actually just a first step in the progression on their roadmap to get also to make their APS, their planning and scheduling functionality stronger and more robust, and to set them up to do parallel operation and overlapping operation scheduling there. So a lot more to come. Hopefully that will make that feature set a lot stronger than it has been to date. So we look forward to that as well. So let's get in here, talk about this. So we have if you're used to the typical reporting up to this point, everything has been backward reporting and then now with control points. So if you went to a later operation or the final operation and reported and you didn't have any control points, it would back report at least the same quantity and make sure that that was there through all the former operations. And that's what's familiar, what you're used to up to this point. But now there's a new checkbox where you can clear this for the automatic backward reporting. And then this is going to allow this out of sequence, more flexible type of reporting if you need this. And you get the default choice at the order type. So you could have different order types if you need that kind of functionality a lot in your manufacturing. Or you could just set it as the default. And then that would drive the work order where you get the same automatic backward reporting setting there. And then you can toggle that back and forth for one-offs if needed on the production order. Now, once you release the order and then start producing, that setting is going to get locked down, whether it's cleared or checked, and you won't be able to go back and change that. So that's actually good control. It makes sense. So I'm going to step you through what it looks like with no backward reporting. So here I've I jumped ahead to the third operation, operation 30, to manufacture a custom wooden bat. And I manufactured reported a quantity of 5. This is a middle operation. It's not the first, it's the third, it's not the final operation. And then if I go to the production details, you can see now what this is going to look like. So I reported 5 at the third operation, and notice that operation 20 and operation 10 have remained at 0. So it did not back report. The other important thing to notice here is that I did set a control point at operation 10. And if you use control points or you're familiar, then you know that you would have gotten an error, which I'll show you here later what that looks like. But now with turning off backward reporting, you won't get an error. The control point logic is only now tied to the final operation when you go to complete. So just to reiterate the point a little more, I went and I reported 3 at operation 20, just to show you that I can do another middle operation, kind of out of sequence here. I can work backward if I want manually. Didn't have to report at 10, didn't have to report at 30 again, and so on. And I could just go back and forth as needed if I'm able to, and even kind of overlap. And just also then to make the point again, but then introduce the fact that scrap can also be reported out of sequence. So I can go back and report scrap at 20 or 30, and it doesn't matter what I had reported at a prior operation. So a lot more flexibility here and potential. Now, if I were to switch and turn back automatic reporting, this would not have worked, and I would have gotten error. Maybe you're used to this if you use control points and do shop floor, and you would see, okay, I went to operation 30, and whoops, there was a control point earlier at operation 10, and I need to go back and report that, equal or less, I have to report that quantity before I can move on, okay? So I went ahead and did this for now switching gears to the normal familiar backward reporting type work order. And so I had to report that 10, so I went ahead and reported that 10 at operation 10 with the control point. But then I went ahead and went to operation 30 and reported 7. I skipped 20. But notice when I reported 7 at 30, it backfilled operation 20. So this is what you have right now before 24R1, okay? And it's still going to be there. You have the choice. All right, so now I'm going to go back to no backward reporting, the new feature. And I want to talk about what happens when we try to complete. So here I've completed at operation 40 the quantity of 10, and I got this same error. Now, if you remember, I had reported 5 at operation 30, then 3 at operation 20, then my 2 scrap. Now I go to report my final operation and report my 10, but I get the same error about the control point. And what I want to emphasize here is that you still have control. I still have now before I finally report to inventory and say I'm done, I have to make sure that at the first operation, whatever the control point is, I have to first complete there before I can move on. Okay. So what does that look like on the production details? It looks like this. So I had to go back then with the no backward reporting, complete operation 10 where there was a control point. Then I could come back to operation 40 and complete the entire work order. Okay. Now I want you to notice it's important that completed all of the operations, even though at operation 20 and operation 30 I had only reported 3 and 5. So if that is something that you don't want, then all you would have to do is put control points at those operations too. And then by the time you finally completed operation 40, you can make sure everything was done in the production order and still having the flexibility at the initial and intermediate operations. So again, I look forward to seeing this get to work with clients who get on 24R1 and ask for some more flexibility and accurate reporting. And I also look forward to seeing where this is going to go in production and scheduling when we can do overlapping and parallel operations there. Thank you.